I'm back. My name is Ira Manyes Basic, the village princess, your princess, and I'm so happy to be back with you, my cyber family. Today we're gonna have another story time, but before we get to the story, you know what needs to be done. You need to share my stories with everybody that you can. Subscribe, comment, and yeah, don't forget to press the notification button for in case there's more. Of course, there is more where this came from. Yeah. For the purpose of the story today, my name is going to be Jessica. And the reason my name is going to be Jessica is that the story that I'll be telling is nothing that happened directly to me. It's a story that somebody wrote to me, and they trusted me to share the story with you, to inspire someone out there. Let's just inspire people out there. Let's let the people out there know that they are not alone when these things are happening to them. And that is the reason we are sharing this story today. So in my early 20s, I met this guy who I fell crazily in love with. Woo! Yes, I was in love with him, and I believe that he was in love with me because we became this inseparable couple. We used to do everything together, go traveling and study together, and we were spending so much time together. We were doing like most things together. He comes from a middle class, upper class background. His family, they had much more money than my family because my mother, she's a farmer, and my father, he passed away. He used to work for a government office, like he was a cleaner. They both did not really go far in school because they both come from poor families. But one thing that I love my parents for is that they made sure that with their very little money, they made sure that me and my siblings, which we were 6, they sent us to school and made sure that we get education. We dated for a while. Let's say after a year or a year and a half, I found out that I was pregnant. And I told the guy that I was pregnant. Oh my God, he was so excited. He jumped with joy, like, oh, we're going to have a baby. We're going to have our own home. I'm going to get a job. But now we have to I'm going to go home and I'm going to tell my parents because I want you to move in with me. And he did that. He went home, told his parents that I was pregnant, and then they came, maybe 2 days later, they came to speak to my parents. The next day, my father, when he found out that I was pregnant, carry your things, go to your husband's house. I go to my husband's house. Of course, he was not working. He was depending on his parents. He was still a student. I stayed there. They had a big house, but there was like one extra room at the back, an extension of the house is where he used to stay because he was like the only boy with 2 sisters. And me, the poor family, we are like 6 siblings. 6 plus me, 7. I stayed there, and the mother, she was not pretending. She was not happy having me there. She was so mean and so like treating me like I'm not there. She was just ignoring my existence. One of the sisters was, but there was one that she was so nice. She would come and check on me, play with my tummy, talk to the baby. It was really nice, at least. But the father, shame, I'll call it shame because he was so quiet. He was not talking. He would just be there. He was just there. He was just going to work, come back, and just a nice guy, but not getting involved with anything. The mother was like, no, I don't want anyone to know that my son, he made somebody pregnant before he even finished school. You stay here, we're going to take good care of you, we're going to take you to the hospital and everything, but you don't go to school. When you have the baby, you can go back to school, and I can take care of the baby. Okay, time goes by, my stomach is growing, and the 2 sisters, one, she was really nice to me. The other one, she was just once in a while, she would greet me when she feels like. The mother was like a real mother-in-law. She didn't care about my existence. I was just a burden in the house. The father was one of those dads that just goes to work, come back, eats, sits, watch TV, not much talk. With my boyfriend at the time, there was no more this thing of going for parties and movies, anything. I was just in the house. I developed depression while I was pregnant. I was so depressed. I was going to the hospital. They had the car in the house. I used to walk to the hospital. No one would take me to the hospital because most of the times you would be in school and I would have an appointment with the doctor. After some time, I realized that, oh, okay, my beloved is dating somebody else because it was so obvious. The girl even started coming to the house. The mother would welcome that girl like the Pope is coming to the house. She'll be cleaning, washing, putting things. Normally it's the daughter-in-law who does the things for the mother-in-law, but this was different. The mother-in-law was the one running around. Meanwhile, it was because the girl, she was from an affluent family. The one of those people with the surname, and she says the surname goes. Meanwhile, my surname, if they would ask, who are your parents? I'll go, so and so, and they go, excuse me. Yeah, the disrespect was too much. I had the baby, and she wanted me to go back. My mother-in-law wanted me to go back home, but I was resisting because, remember, my family, they're poor. They immediately sent me to this family, and they're like, this was an embarrassment, because they really made an effort to send us to school with their little money. And for me, it was kind of a failure for my parents. I was embarrassed, I was scared, it was bad. Guys, can you believe that me being in the house with the little baby, this family, they are busy preparing a wedding. This guy still doesn't work. They are preparing a beautiful wedding. The girl would come to the house, her family. I knew everyone because most of the time they would come. I'm busy washing the dishes, I'm busy cooking. I was the maid. I was getting paid with food in the plate. They prepared their wedding, they get married. I only found out that my boyfriend or my baby daddy was getting married the Saturday of the wedding. And can you believe that the whole time that this guy is preparing the wedding, he sleeps with me in the same bed. He was sleeping with me in the same bed, and after I had the baby, after some time we started having sex. Because and for that, even though the mother wanted me to go home, I thought, oh, me and my boy, slowly we're gonna get together. You know how we human beings, we lie to ourselves. We have always this thing that he's gonna change or she's gonna change. And I had this thing that, oh no, it was just a phase, he's gonna change. Because he's my man, he promised that we're gonna be husband and wife for better, for worse. Meanwhile, no ways. The Saturday before the guy got married, he was leaving. Then I see his, how do you call the groomsmen? They're in the house, there's like all craziness. But they, of course, they rented a venue. Everything was happening in a venue. And the mother, all dressed up, comes to my room and she tells me that I need to leave the house because they have to go and they want to lock the doors. I must carry my baby and some clothes to change for me because they're going to be away from the house for a few days, and she doesn't want to leave me alone in the house. This is how I left my baby daddy's house, because of course I realized there was something happening, but I was not invited. Everybody was in their cars and I was like the maid. I didn't have all the fancy clothes or anything. Sorry guys, I need to drink something. Don't ask me, it's a concoction. I moved back to my parents' house, but of course I told my parents that I was there just for a short while because of the story that my mother-in-law told me. After some time, I mean, one day, let's say 3 or 4 days later, my dad was like, aren't you going home? She called me, not him. She called me not to come back. They will come and fetch me. They came, let's say, a week or 2 later to come and speak with my parents. There, I'm all excited. There, baby, go to grandma. Grandma is looking at me like, she takes the baby and she tells my parents that they are coming to fetch the baby because their son is married and he wants to take care of the child, because since my family cannot afford to take care of the baby, because that's what my parents told them when they sent me to their house, like, our daughter, by herself we can take care of her, but we're not taking care of anybody else's child. They said, okay, we leave your daughter behind, we take what is ours, the baby, but we can't have her in our house anymore because our son just got married and he has moved out of the house and there's no space for her in the house, because if she stays there, she stays there as who? Guys, I was already depressed when I was pregnant. Can you imagine what this did to me? I was depressed for years. I didn't see this guy until my child was like 5 years old. When out of the blue, he came to my parents' house to come and see his child, very proud, with his wife sitting in the car. He came to see his son and he wanted to start paying maintenance. He wants to take care of his child because in his family they don't live their seeds, and in their family they don't leave their seeds unwatered. They have to take care of their seeds until they grow. That's why he wants to start paying maintenance. 5 years later, this guy moved out. I don't know if they were renting an apartment. I did not know anything. I didn't see him. I didn't hear from him. Nothing. I stopped going to the house. I moved on with my life. I went back to school. Thank God I finished my matric. I went to university. So after the guy came to see the child, guys, remember, he came with his wife. She was sitting in the car. He came out to my parents' house and he saw the child and he was playing with him and everything. He started coming regularly to see him. And at some point, I'm on my way to the market and I meet his sister. The nice sister, the one that was really nice to me. We used to play with the belly and everything. She tells me that their mother is very sick. She got cancer. And I felt so bad because even though she did all that to me, but I still saw her as my mother or my mother-in-law. And I told the girl, okay, it's no problem. I'll come and visit Mama. That being said, a few days later, I packed my fruits and everything and washed my child and took him to go and see grandma that was sick. I get there, she was so weak. It was so sad to see her like that because I really hoped that I had seen her stronger, because by then I was a little bit grown. I could have told her how I felt or how she made me feel, but by then I couldn't. She was really weak. And she started crying and apologizing for everything she did to me, and she didn't mean it. It's just that things, they just happened the way it happened, and I'm so sorry, my daughter, you are my child, and I shouldn't have handled the situation like that. Please forgive me, and blah blah blah. I was like, oh no, Mama, it's fine, you can relax, no problem. Let's let bygones be bygones. It's fine. Much for the people that have subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate your support. And if you have not subscribed, come on, be nice, subscribe, and guys, share my videos, share my stories to the other people. Let people know about the Village Princess channel. If you want me to tell your stories, my email address is iramanice@gmail.com. IRAMANHICE. You can DM me on Instagram, is the village @thevillage_princess. @thevillage_princess. That's my Instagram. Or you can comment on our YouTube channel. This channel is ours, it's not mine, it's ours. We are this one big functional, dysfunctional family, but we love each other. That's what matters. Yeah, today's story was about a young couple that they were dating and they had this beautiful young relationship. At some point the girl falls pregnant and she moves in with the family of the guy, because he was still staying with his family. The guy loses interest in her because now she has a big stomach and she's not cute or sexy anymore. He starts dating a girl from a rich family, and this mother, she was so much in favor of that relationship. She was one of those aunties who oh, oops, Shangan. Okay, I'm gonna translate that. She was one of those aunties who liked things. When she would see things shining, being cute and beautiful, she would be like, oh, it's here where I need to be. That's what I just said in Shangan now. Yes, and that being said, can you believe that the family of the guy, the mother-in-law, they prepared the wedding and everything without the girl knowing while she was in the house. And the day they were going to get married, they told her that she needs to get ready to go and visit her family. Pack her clothes and the baby's clothes, some clothes to change. They will let her know when they come back, because they're going away and they want to lock the house. They don't want to leave her and the baby in the house. Meanwhile, they were going to get married. So mean, so bad. If you hear of a story of anybody who's out there in some family being mistreated because she fell in love with the guy and their family are not interested, just let the person know this is not happening only with her. There's so many people that go through that, but there's a way out. She can go back home. She can start from scratch. It's not about how low you fall. It's about how you go up again and keep going. Yeah, she can go back to school. She can get a job. She can just... Yeah, because I've heard stories about people getting depressed and committing suicide. Let's help the people out there, and people need to know that they are not alone. There's so many of these crazy things happening. Big kiss, lots of love from me, the Village Princess. I love you and I hope you love me, and I'll see you on my next video. Goodbye.